Hello and welcome to Eastern Roman history. Emperor Andronikos III Palaiologos, who ruled from 1328 to 1341, and John Kantakuzenos, Andronikos' head of government, enacted sweeping reforms to the justice system in the Late Byzantine Empire. A major problem that had been allowed to run rampant by the incompetent Emperor Andronikos II, the grandfather of Andronikos III, was corruption. The sale of offices was endemic, and the poor in the countryside and cities often turned to ecclesiastical courts to get their justice, as they were generally much fairer than civic ones. Civic judges could be bribed by much wealthier landowners to rule in favour of them instead of the plaintiff. To rectify these circumstances, Andronikos III and John set up 4 universal justices of the Romans. 2 were clergymen and 2 were laymen. They had exceptional powers to enforce the law anywhere in the empire, especially when dealing with corruption and tax evasion. Their verdicts were final and irreversible. Later in his reign, Andronikos also created local equivalents of these universal justices for places such as Thessalonica and Morea to uphold law and order and prevent corruption. As well as this, Matthew Blastaris compiled the Syntagma, a collection of rulings from civic and church courts in 1335. The reform of the justice system spurred the creation of the last major Byzantine judicial work called the Hexabiblos by Constantine Harmonopoulos in 1345. This replaced Leo VI's Basilica as the standard law book of the empire until its fall in 1453, and was the basis of other law codes such as the Code of Stephen Duchesne. The oath of one of these universal justices took to the emperor still survives from 1329. See Byzantium, Church, Society and Civilization Through Contemporary Eyes, page 84 to 85. Since I was requested by our mighty and holy Lord and Emperor that as soon as I would be elected universal judge of the Romans, I would, at the same time, personally affirm and take an oath, which is befitting and proper to me as an ecclesiastic, by God's grace, in the same way as the most holy Metropolitan of Apro, the highly honoured universal judge of the Romans, gave assurance, and also, as my other colleagues, the universal judges, were required to do, very willingly providing written affirmation in accordance with their status and condition. So now I do swear, so now do I swear, and bind myself as a religious ecclesiastic, so to say, in the responsibility and execution of my duties, that the aforesaid most holy Bishop of Apro, the all-praised and universal judge of the Romans, my colleague, according to the oath that is provided on the holy and divine canons by all the ecclesiastics for these purposes, that I maintain and observe at all times all the provisions of this written oath, and affirmation, taken by him and by my other colleagues, the universal judges of the Romans, not because of any genuine fear of the high rank of any persons, nor on account of humility, or friendship, or enmity, or sorrow, or sympathy for any person under judgment, nor on account of any carelessness or laziness on my part, nor for any other person, nor for any other possible reason that might arise, or that will infringe on the authority that is dependent on judgments, legal rulings, and the laws. I will try, with all my power, to remain free of all corruption, and I will take care that all people around me stay aloof from any case, and if anybody around me should be found trying to influence me, I will take care to correct the situation, and I will get rid of him as if such a thing had never happened in any respect, whether it involved a servant, a friend, or relative. I will take responsibility for this before the Lord. I take this pledge before our most holy ecumenical patriarch and the Holy Council of the holy bishops, that I will take care to observe the holy canons. With all straightforwardness and truth will I execute my duties. I will struggle and be vigilant in behalf of all the people, whether archons or common men, rich or poor, enemies or friends. I will judge fairly and without corruption, and with no personal interest, seeking only the vindication of a wronged party in accordance with the authority that is granted to me by the holy imperial edicts. If I do not keep these promises, or if I neglect to observe any of the written laws, I will be guilty in my soul before the holy Gospels and the honour that has been bestowed upon me by my colleague in rendering judgment, the holy bishop of Apro. And if ever I see that the vindication of any wronged party is not taken seriously and remains without authority and validity, I shall, as is the wish of our Majesty and Holy Lord the Emperor, speak out in accordance with the holy and imperial edict once issued on that matter, until I see that the vindication of the unjustly judged is observed and carried out. And if I do not succeed in carrying out the will of our mighty and holy Emperor and ruler, I will at once resign from the position of universal judge of the Romans, and thus absolve myself of any guilt. Please do remember to like and subscribe and share this video. And this has been Eastern Roman History.